At Journeys, we've picked what we think are the top treks right now. On almost all of our destinations, we have 60 destinations around the world, you can do hiking. I think of hiking as a full day or a part of a day, maybe multiple days, but within the context of a greater trip. But I'm distinguishing these picks as trips that are really focused on the activity. However, I tried to think beyond the traditional cliche destinations. There are certain treks that everybody will talk about. If you ask any expert about trekking, they'll say, well, you should trek to Everest Base Camp. Well, you should go to Machu Picchu. And I tried to think, well, what other little additional suggestions could I give to break out of the mold of destinations that come up over and over again? So with that in mind, my top recommendations, the Himalayas, they have to be on the list of recommendations. Bhutan is great for trekking. We have somebody from Bhutan in the audience today, actually, so shout out for Bhutan. And Nepal is great for trekking. But to get away from the trekkers on the trail to Mount Everest, I suggest going east of Mount Everest to the Arun Valley, where you can hike through villages, you can get great views of the whole range, and you'll also leave travelers behind, but have reliable flights, whereas in recent years, the flights to the Everest area have been a little bit unpredictable. I also do suggest Machu Picchu as a must-see destination, but an alternative, they talk about the Inca Trail. Well, there are lots of Incan trails in Peru, and I actually think the Lares Trail is a much more interesting trail to explore because you get a more cultural experience, and again, you leave some of the other trekkers behind. We have a trip on the Lares Trail where instead of camping along the way, you get to end every day at a lodge with lovely cooked meals, hot tubs, kind of soothe your aching muscles before you get up the next morning for a strenuous trip back on the trail toward Machu Picchu. So trip number 2, Lares Trail to Machu Picchu. Trip 3, Patagonia, southern Argentina and Chile. In particular, Torres del Paine National Park in southern Chile has a famous trek called the W. And again, I like this one because there are a lot of options for accommodations. You can camp, you can stay in sort of backpacker-style hostels, or you can stay in lovely eco-lodges where you feel pampered, where they have some of the most delicious food I have ever tasted. And a lot of those lodges can take beginning hikers and give them the option each day of doing a segment of the very strenuous W trek, or of seeing what you would see on that section of the trail, but doing it in an easier way. And it lets beginning hikers see this spectacular hiking destination without having to commit to a full 7-day trip where you kind of get in over your head and you're not sure if you'll be able to tackle the whole thing. Destination number 4, full moon Kili climb. Mount Kilimanjaro is the mountain in Africa that stands in the middle of the plains. It's a stunning sight, and you have to begin your ascent in the middle of the night. So we've discovered that it becomes a remarkable experience to do that climb on the night of a full moon. It makes it extremely special. And you can pair that experience then with another once-in-a-lifetime experience, a safari in Tanzania. So trip number 4 for 2015, climbing Kilimanjaro. And last but not least, I think the most unexpected on a list of treks is gorilla tracking. People don't usually think of it in the context of hiking trips. They think of it in the context of nature trips. But people who want to be active on the trail will find that getting to the places where gorillas are munching away on the greens in the mountains can be active, strenuous, really rewarding and vigorous, and one of the most exceptional hiking experiences that you will ever have. The guides are unique local people who have turned themselves into naturalists and trackers instead of poachers and hunters. And just like you might find with the sea turtles in Costa Rica or along the Caribbean and Pacific coasts of Latin America, you'll find the same thing with the gorillas in Rwanda and Uganda. And I strongly encourage you to put this on your bucket list because people who return from this experience of all of the places that our trips go, say that this is life-changing. So those are my tips for you on hiking, and I hope you'll think about figuring out how to choose the right challenge, how to travel your way as you do a hiking trip. Feel free to get in touch. I'm happy to help you plan a hiking trip or really any kind of adventure. Journeys International goes to 60 destinations and does trips that are physical adventures, but also cultural and environmental, nature adventures, scenic adventures. And I'd love to talk with you about how to pick the right adventure for you. Thank you.